Welcome back to Life's a Garden. Today's guest is back for round 2. First time we had him on, we had some technical malfunctions, so we weren't able to air the episode, which is very unfortunate because we had a great conversation, and we even sampled some hot sauces, which I did put out on episode 78, so if you want to go see that, just go back to episode 78, it's at the very end. But it all worked out this time. We had another good conversation. We talk about gambling. We talk about Yu-Gi-Oh cards. We talk some sports. So I was glad to see that this episode can actually make the cut. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Kain Bordner.
How do you like your coffee? What are you drinking there? Coffee, right?
Yeah, Black Rifle coffee.
Oh, black. Oh, no, not bad.
Yeah, I like some Black Rifle.
Can't you just get that in the can at the gas station?
I think the only place I found it is Shields.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I went there for Christmas shopping.
Yeah.
They have like a whole back area up top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and I'm hoping they open up a shop, too, because they have... Now they're doing, like, Starbucks-style coffee shops for the Black Rifle, and I hope they open one here.
That'd be pretty legit.
Yeah, I love me some Black Rifle.
What's the one... Did you say... Oh, no, you said you want to get it from Shields. I could have sworn... Maybe it's not Black Rifle, but there's a coffee you can get at the gas station in a can, just like this energy drink here. And it has like 300 milligrams of caffeine in it. It's like one of those ones where it's like, you're going to fucking feel it! You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
So, but I could have sworn it was that. Maybe it's called something else.
Now, I remember last time you were asking me about energy drinks.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge fan. Those I like.
Oh, these original green amps?
Yes.
They're discontinued.
Are they?
They're so hard to fucking find, man. I'm pretty sure I've cleaned out this town. I've gone to every ma and pa. The only place you can find them, I found them as like a ma and pa gas station.
Uh-huh.
And like, or just some really old dinky one. Like I went to the Don's downtown. You know, there, the real sketchy, like off of First Avenue or whatever that is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I found a bunch there, and I bought them all. So whenever I stop into a gas station, I go and see if they have an amp. Like I got this stash from Roundup.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was driving through there, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking check here now. I was just in Miles City yesterday, and I didn't stop in the gas station to check because I guarantee they would have fucking had them.
Right.
I found them at the TA out in Laurel, or that Don's downtown, that gas station right there off of Lewis right here. You know, by your mom's house.
Oh,
On
yeah,
the
yeah,
corner
yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
I found a bunch there. I found, trying to think where else I bought some in Livingston, and one gas station in Great Falls, and because you just can't find them anymore. You can't get them.
So are they officially discontinued, or is it like a supply chain issue?
I don't know, because whenever I talk to the Pepsi guy, he says that it's discontinued, but these expiration dates are fairly new, so it looks like they're making them. Like this says March 21st, 2022.
Huh.
So I don't know, and I remember the last ones I bought said they expired in August, but I drank them fuckers right up.
Yeah.
No, these, if I can find them, man, that's what's cool about being a truck driver. Like, you stop in all these weird places, I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna see if they got them or not.
Yeah, I'm sure you run into all kinds of different stuff that we normally don't get here as often. Or, like, they just have it because not as many people drink it there, maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, this, the original green amp is my most favorite energy
Oh, I
drink.
love that one. Like I said, I'm not a huge energy drink guy. Because what was the one you brought last time? You said it was from Montana.
Buck you.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that one was pretty good. But, see, those ones, I can drink the hell out of those.
Oh, yeah. These are fantastic, just like Mountain Dew on crack.
Oh, for real.
And I'm so happy I found when I went to that. You ever eaten at the McCleary's in Roundup, that gas station?
I don't know. I don't think I've actually been to Roundup in a long time. My buddy lives close to there, but not quite to Roundup. So I don't go much further than that.
Because they got that gas station. They serve the food there's not bad. They have a whole little kitchen area back there, and they serve a bunch of lunch and
Kind of like Eddie's Corner.
breakfast. Kind of like Eddie's Corner, yeah, but no, that's actually like a diner. This is like,
Right.
you ever gone to the gas station by Duck Creek?
Maybe.
Right there by the Shiloh overpass.
Okay, yeah.
They serve like sandwiches there out of that gas station. It's
Uh-huh.
kind of like that same type of style. But they're not bad. I got a chicken and Swiss sandwich and some jalapeno poppers. Most of the time, the food there is actually really good.
Yeah.
But I could see When I got all the amps, I could see in the back they had some more. So I'll have to make a trip out there, I think.
Gas station food is so, like, iffy because it's either really good, excuse me, or really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just road tripping places. Obviously, you stop at gas stations a lot, and then you just end up getting food there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, there's something about the rotisserie foods that are, like, so, like, don't do it, but you want it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're actually usually pretty good. I'm usually pretty impressed.
I love gas station food. I do. I don't care what anybody says. I love gas station food. It's not as bad as people think.
Well, you know what because, okay, you're a trucker.
Mm-hmm.
So do you stop in, like, at, like, Flying J's and shit like that?
Oh, yeah.
So, I remember I went to Texas just on a ride-along in a 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
And we stopped at a lot of Flying J's, or what's the other one?
Town Pumps. Loves.
Okay, it was probably a lot of Flying J's. Yeah, maybe the Loves.
Flying J's.
I just know the
Town Pumps.
It's called, like, the Country Kitchen or something like that. In
Mm-hmm.
those. Dude, that is some of the best food I've ever eaten.
The Flying J out in Belgrade has a Country Kitchen in it, and I ate there once, and it's pretty fucking good.
Nice.
Well, and I mean gas station food, I mean, like, you ever had the holiday, like, warm food that they have out?
I'm sure I have.
When you go in there in the mornings, they have all their breakfast sandwiches out, and they got, like, breakfast taquito rolls and hash browns. It's good. I love it. I could eat that holiday gas station food all day. Even the lunch stuff, they got, like, a ham and Swiss, chicken and Swiss. I could eat that shit all day. This right here, this is from Zip Trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love these. I eat them all the time. And I don't have a whole lot of... I even eat the bagged deviled eggs from the gas stations. They're fine. They don't make me sick at all. The only thing I wouldn't trust from a gas station would be something with fish.
Yeah, no way.
Like I probably wouldn't eat gas station sushi.
Or shrimp or whatever.
Yeah. I
don't even like Montana. Just any seafood from Montana. I might be doing that a few times myself.
Excuse me. Sorry. Wow. Whew. Kind of shit myself there.
So, I gotta just put it out there for the listeners. Mm-hmm. So, there might be several times I reference last time we talked.
Oh, yeah.
Because, and I mentioned this before on the podcast, we did an episode. We had technical malfunction, had to scrap the episode, which I was very disappointed by. And again, I apologize.
Well,
thank you very much for coming back.
Dude, no, it happens, man. I mean, I'm welcome to come back and do any episode you want to do. Like I said, I'm helping my buddy with his YouTube
Oh, nice.
thing, too. I'm in a bunch of his videos. I mean, if you want to do
Who's
something.
that?
His name's Thomas Wagman.
Okay.
He does a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Related content.
Nice.
He, deck profiles, matches. It's pretty cool. And
okay.
most of the time, I mean, if you want good content on his page, I mean, like, obviously they're going to watch good matchups. Like, I'm obviously one of the better players. And so whenever I'm playing against a better player, like, he's going to stream that match. Because, well, it's like, I'm playing a better deck. That guy's playing a better deck. We're not going to put, like, the 12-year-old kid that's got some fucking jank put together. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nobody wants to watch a kid get destroyed for 5 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that's why I'm in a lot of his videos, because I'm one of the best players, and I usually went out, like, there's 4 rounds or 3 rounds. Most of the time I finish, like, I go 2-0, and I lose my last one and finish 2-1, where I went out. Or I lose my first one, and then I finish, like, 3-1. You know, most of the time I'm, like, in the top 3. So that's why I'm in a lot of his content, just because, well...
Because you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like, well, just everyone else has to get good. You know?
Right.
That's just how it is. Yeah, so that was unfortunate with the last episode. I haven't watched the hot sauce skit you put on yet.
See it, and you'll see exactly why just the audio is so bad. But and I was so disappointed by that because that was such a great bit of content.
It was fun.
And there's no fucking chance I was going to do it again because that shit sucked.
Yeah.
Like, it was funny, but goddamn, if you want to get information out of somebody, just feed them that hot sauce because that's like torture.
Yeah.
I
thought about bringing it again.
I had a feeling you might, and I probably would have done it again. I don't know, but I already put it out there. So if anybody wants to go watch it, it was like 5 episodes ago, or something like that. I don't remember the number, but
I'll have to go check. I haven't watched it because I heard the audio quality when we were sitting here.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Fuck, that's so bad."
But that one's kind of a visual thing anyway, so it's mostly just watching us eat sauce and be miserable.
Yeah. I did actually use that hot sauce with that dripper.
Yeah.
I used it when I was cooking shrimp, and I just put like 3 drops in there. That's how you got to use it.
Okay. Does it blend well then?
Yeah, it does blend well. It was really good, actually.
Okay.
It was hot. Don't get me wrong, but I like wanted to eat more.
I just couldn't find the flavor in it.
Oh no, you're talking about the Montana one, the dripper, or the bomb one?
No, the dripper one.
Oh, the dripper one. Oh,
well, just based on like what we ate, I couldn't find the flavor.
you must like more Chipotle smoky flavored things then.
Maybe
because the bomb.
I think the heat just overwhelmed me.
That's true.
So I couldn't really like find. I wasn't really looking for flavor. I was just
That's true.
fighting the heat.
See, and I don't. First of all, the bomb is just hot. To me, like it's got a real Chipotle smoky flavor to it, and I like that, but that's like just an overwhelming taste, and it's just super hot. It's just bad.
Yeah.
But the other one, it's kind of more I wouldn't say buffalo-y. I would say more like red chili almost. You know what I mean? I would say more like closer to a Tabasco.
Okay.
But like it's not Tabasco because it tastes way better. And I kind of like that flavor. Like that one was hot, but I like the flavor of it more. And it was hot. Like they're both really fucking hot. I finally started watching episodes of Hot Ones.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was watching them, and yeah, the bomb is always the one in the lineup, and it's so funny because
It's the only one that always returns because they know that's the one that's gonna fuck them up.
I got the bomb from my girlfriend's brother, and I'd never seen the Hot Ones before.
Right.
And I still hadn't seen it until like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I just knew it was from Hot Ones because literally everyone told me like, oh, that's from Hot Ones.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And so with me actually trying it first and having everyone else try it and then watching it, and I see the build up to the bomb, and I'm just like, damn. I'm like, this guy's gonna do it. And they take that bite of the wing. I love like the ones are hot before that, but it's like the bomb's on a whole different level.
Well, and I honestly think the ones after the bomb aren't as hot as they like say it is. Because maybe the second one might be on par, but after tasting that shit, it's like I don't understand what could be hotter than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, seriously. Like, when I saw there was 2 after the bomb, I'm like, what?
Well, it's like that's you can see in every episode. That's the one that always just throws them. Oh, and there's a reason it's the most reoccurring sauce.
Exactly, exactly. And dude, it's so funny. I watched of course, I watched the Shaq one.
Yeah, that's like the most viral one.
Yeah, and then I watched the Tom Holland one.
Yep,
that one's pretty funny too because he takes a bite out of it and he's like, "That's the worst thing I've ever put in my fucking mouth." And oh, that's so funny.
I will say, since having that, it's given me a whole new perspective on the show.
It is.
Because I know what they're gonna like every time they go to take a bite, I'm like, like I know what's about to happen to you.
And I can't believe all they do is just take a bite of. If I'm sitting there in that interview, I'm maxing that wing. That's all I'm saying.
You're just gonna eat the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat the whole thing.
Yeah, some of them do.
Yeah, like Tom Holland was cool because he would take one bite and he would take another bite. I don't think he did that with the bomb, if I can remember. But excuse me, he did that with the ones before that, and I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, they just take a bite of the wing and throw it down. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, no,
Such
maybe I'm just a fat fuck. I don't know, but I don't care how hot that wing is. I had when Bones was open. This is actually a pretty funny story. So I'm sitting next to my buddy Jimmer. He gets like this weird honey barbecue one. I get the super hot ones. And so he gets his honey barbecue, and I get my super hot ones, and we're eating them. And I look at that, and I look at these, and I'm like, I think we got the same thing. Because I'm eating my wings, and they don't taste real hot. And I'm like, let me try one of yours, Jimmer. I took a bite of his, and I'm like, this tastes the exact same. So he tried one of mine. He's like, yeah, they taste the exact same to me. So I had them. Send them back and say they weren't hot enough. I'm like, these aren't the hot ones. And so...
And where was this at?
It was Bones when it was open.
Oh, that's right.
And so I send them back. They come back. I'm eating them again, and I'm like, they're a little spicier now. I can taste it. And I'm like, but they taste the same. And I'm like, so I have 10 wings, and I eat 2 of them. And I'm just like, okay, these are getting a little hotter. And then then the cook walked by, and I'm like, do you guys use the same sauce for the wings? He's like, oh yeah, they're the exact same sauce. The only thing that's different is yours has Carolina Reaper flakes in it. That's the only difference when we toss it. That's how we make them super hot. So they were hot. They were the right wings.
Yeah.
But I sent them back to get a double dose of Carolina Reaper
because they weren't hot enough.
No, because I didn't think they were the right ones. They were the right ones.
Did it jack your gut up later or what?
Oh, dude, it was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Because not only weren't they the regular super hot, now they're double super hot because I had them get sent back to put more flakes in. And so now I'm 2 or 3 wings in, and I'm like, oh wow, these are getting really fucking
They're
hot,
kicking.
dude. And I'm probably 5 wings in, 6, dying.
Ooh.
Dude, just dying. Nothing's saving me. I'm like, God himself couldn't even help me, dude. And it was unbearable. And I told myself, I'm like, I'm finishing all these fucking wings. So I took a page out of Man vs. Food. His name's Adam, the original guy. I can't remember his last name. Whenever he would do a wing challenge, you're legally allowed to rip all the meat off of the wings and put them in a pot, put it in a pile, and eat it like that. So I was like, the only way I'm finishing this is if I do that. You know, if I take the wings and I rip all the meat I can off of them, because I'm not being I'm like, I'm getting all the meat.
Right.
And it's in a pile, and then after that, it was like,
well, it's almost like the hard part of a wing is the eating of it, because it's like on your lips and like so you're just getting fucked on all angles.
yeah.
So if you can just eat the meat,
well, you know, some people pay extra money for that.
Yeah.
To get fucked by all angles.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Sorry, that one kind of went a little bit okay. Anyway.
Well, I had to rethink of what you like what we had said. I had to run it back. So I gotta ask this too, because I do want to get back. I want to talk about the trucking thing again.
Oh, okay.
But before that, I gotta ask you, because now we're in a timely situation. What do you think about the Matt Nagy and what's it, Pace?
Yeah, Ryan Pace.
What do you think of the firings there? Like,
I think they were much needed. It's tough. Because so Matt Nagy only had 1 losing season out of his 5 years there.
yeah, he was coach of the year. Like,
His first year.
Yeah.
So this year was his only losing season. The other 500 is not a losing season.
right.
It's not classified as a losing season. So he went 12-4, 8-8, 8-8. Oh, and this is his 4th season.
Okay.
No.
I think you're right. I think it is 4.
Oh yeah, because last year we made the playoffs. Yeah, we did. So yeah, his 4th. This is out of 4 years. This is his only losing season. So 4 years, 1 losing season. 2 of them were playoffs. That's actually not a bad resume if you look at it.
Well, and I feel the same about Brian Flores. I can't believe they fired Brian Flores.
That's the coach for the Dolphins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he has a winning. His winning percentage was like 63% or something like that.
Yeah.
I saw that. I saw they were showing the coaches that got fired and their records, and Brian Flores has, like, I think 10 more wins than losses.
Yeah.
And
And he has back-to-back winning seasons.
yeah.
And look at what they did this year. Like, they went, like, 0-8.
Yeah, we know that all the Dolphins had to do was win.
Yeah, and then they went on, like, an 8-game winning streak.
Yeah.
Or something like that. They beat the Patriots twice this year, too. It's like, I don't know. He's definitely going to find work. And the only thing I can think of with him was there had to have been conflict within the front office with him.
Maybe, and like I said, those are things beyond our vision that we don't know. But it's on paper, on resume. I mean, Matt Nagy's resume doesn't look bad. 4 seasons, 3 of them, not only 1 losing season, 2 playoff berths. Ryan Pace made some like very dangerous gambling moves, I would say, when it came to our draft picks.
Okay.
But I mean, they worked out. I mean, they really did, because we got Eddie Goldman, we got Akeem Hicks, we got Danny Trevathan, we also got David Montgomery. We also got that other rookie we drafted this year that's really good. Can't remember his name.
Offense or defense?
Offense. He was the running back when David Montgomery went down.
I know who you're talking about. I can't think of that.
I can't think of his name right now. And
Do you guys still have Danny Trevathan?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was just injured. I think we're getting rid of him this year, I think.
Okay.
Because I saw him play a couple games. I think he was just too injury prone, stuff like that.
He's getting older.
Yeah. And God, I wish I could remember that running back's name. We had Tariq Cohen, Darnell Mooney,
Roquan Smith. That's a big draft one that we have. Like, honestly, Ryan Pace didn't draft bad. I feel like neither one of the guys were or are bad. I think it's just that the market...
The expectations were so fucking high for them.
And they always should. They're
they should be.
No
You're a
matter
professional football team, just like Brian Flores, like back-to-back winning seasons, but no playoffs.
Right.
And, it's not enough just to make the playoffs. You got to have playoff wins.
Yeah.
Is the thing. So even though Matt Nagy went twice, he didn't win. Is the problem? Fuck, we should have won. When we were in 12-4, we should have won that. And I think that's another thing that's rough for Mitchell Trubisky. They were showing, that's where I got the percentage for win. It was showing Andy Dalton / Nick Foles, Justin Fields, and Mitchell Trubisky's winning records. And Mitchell Trubisky had a 63% win percentage with the Bears when he was starting. I just feel like another thing is expectations, because Mitchell Trubisky was taken 10 spots ahead of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And so the fact that he was picked second overall and we could have had Mahomes is another reason why the expectations for everyone were so high for Matt Nagy, Ryan Pace, and Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah.
Because when you get taken ahead of Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes, it's like, well, you better be the fucking nuts, because Deshaun Watson's good. He has a playoff win, and Mahomes is a Super Bowl winning quarterback now.
Yeah.
And so I think that's another reason we missed that opportunity. And I don't think Mitchell Trubisky was a bad quarterback. I really don't think he was that. I think it came down just to more coaching and management is what it really was. I don't think he probably could have worked on his deep ball a little bit better, but he was a good game manager. He was quick on his. I liked Mitchell Trubisky a lot. I don't think we should have gotten rid of him. I actually think I like him more than Justin Fields. Everyone, whenever there's a new quarterback in Chicago, I follow a couple pages, everyone just gets the biggest heart on. They're like, Justin Fields looks so good. He looks like Mahomes when he first came in, or a Russell Wilson. And I'm just like, he's from Ohio State.
Yeah.
Oh, originally, I think he went to Georgia, transferred to Ohio State, something like that. But Ohio State quarterbacks don't have a good record in the NFL. They don't. He got drafted to the Ravens. I can't remember his name. Troy something. I think his name's Troy.
Oh, I don't know. I was thinking of I can't think of the guy's name either. The other guy. Starts with an H, his last name.
I can't
think. But
anyway,
you're right. There's not a lot of. I mean, I can't think of almost a single Ohio State quarterback that's come out and been super successful.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's another thing why I'm not on it. And Justin Fields maybe, if you compare Mitchell Trubisky to Justin Fields in their rookie seasons, I feel like Mitchell Trubisky looked way better than Justin Fields. I feel like Justin Fields has already got a gun to his head, because he realizes the expectations are high and he's trying to fill them. I can see when he plays, he's trying super hard.
Well, he was definitely the guy that should have sat for a little while, and he kind of had to be forced in.
Yeah.
I think he needed more time.
There's a lot of fan pressure.
Right. Fan pressure, and then the front office pressure, obviously, because they knew that they were on the hot seat too.
Yep.
And it just didn't work out in that way either, because that was another thing I think with Matt Nagy that got him fired, was the inconsistency of okay, we got Fields, but we're gonna play Dalton, and then okay, now we're gonna play Fields.
Yeah, you can't have that,
because waffling.
If you look at the Cowboys, I think in the 70s they had Roger Staubach and they had another really good backup quarterback. They would do Tom Landry would try to make different plays, because in the 70s Cowboys were running a lot of trick plays too. It's when they started coming really to fruition. And they would rotate the quarterback out. And it turned out to be very counterproductive. Because even though both quarterbacks were really good, it just didn't work.
Yeah.
Because there's a leadership role there at a quarterback position that when you have two quarterbacks rotating out like that, especially for Pat, I know the Raiders do that, but the Raiders only use Mariota
for run plays.
Yeah, for an RPO.
Right.
So if Mariota's in, there's an RPO. But most of the RPOs I saw with him, he didn't throw. He ran. He had that 25-yard run.
But it's not like it's questionable who the starter is in
exactly.
Vegas. It's and that's the problem with a guy like Fields or Dalton. They're constantly wondering, am I starting this week? Am I not?
And when you get sloppy like that when you're trying to win, it's just you might as well just wait for next season.
Yeah. Well,
at that point, and that's why I wanted. If you look, Andy Dalton started us 3-1. What?
Yeah.
Okay, same thing last year when we had Nick Foles. Mitchell Trubisky started us 5-2, something like that. I can't remember. And then we pull him out for his inconsistencies, because we were in the game. Mitchell Trubisky was having a bad game, so they took him out and brought Nick Foles in. Nick Foles did have a game-winning drive, he did come in and do that, but then he lost 2 of his last 6. Or something like that. And it's just even though the guy's doing bad, if you're winning with him, why pull him out? Kind of like, and I don't like, I say that with a grain of salt because, I had to deal with Rex Grossman.
Yeah.
So Rex Grossman was in, and we were winning with him in, but I feel like, we definitely should have started Kyle Orton over Rex Grossman for not just for the Super Bowl, I mean in general, because Kyle Orton was just a better game manager. I wouldn't say Kyle Orton was a great quarterback, but anything was better than Rex Grossman.
Yeah.
So, when I say that, it's kind of like, yeah.
Your guys' situation really reminds me of ours. It's just like you have a really good team around you, but all the leadership sides, quarterback, coach, it's just been so inconsistent throughout the last 10 years.
What was your guys' record? 9-8, 8-9?
No, we were a losing record. We were I guess it would be 8 or no, I think we were 7-10.
Yeah, 7-10. Yeah, the extra game's really throwing me for loop too.
So yeah, I think we went 7-10. So
okay, yeah, we went 6-11.
Do you think Fangio comes back?
I that'd be sick. I don't know. Our defensive coordinator is doing good right now. He's actually.
But do you think he would come back as a head coach? Well, okay. Let me ask you this: Who do you want?
Jim Harbaugh.
That's what I figured.
Yeah,
but
I mean, there's no questions about it. Jim Harbaugh is shutting down the rumors. But I mean, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
Well, you want to play the field. I'm almost certain Harbaugh's coming back.
I think Jim Harbaugh would be fantastic for the Bears because Justin Fields is a Colin Kaepernick, and Jim Harbaugh has history with Chicago. I mean, he played for the Bears for 6 years or 7 years or something like that.
That'd be pretty crazy, actually.
And so he'd come back and coach for the Bears, and he has a quarterback that he already took that reminds him of Colin Kaepernick. And I feel like with the Colin Kaepernick situation, I feel like a head coach is supposed to coach, but I feel like you said there's pressure from the front office. I feel like Jim Harbaugh couldn't do what he wanted to with Colin Kaepernick because I feel like the front office was like, hey, you need to get this kid under control, do this and do that.
Breathe it down his neck.
Yeah, and it's like, what's the point of me being a coach if you're just going to tell me what to do?
Right.
So I think at that time Jim Harbaugh just listened to them and did what they wanted to do, and they found that it was bad. And instead of them admitting they were wrong, they just fired him.
Yeah.
I feel like because Jim Harbaugh's a great coach. I just don't think he would have done that to Colin Kaepernick. I mean, Colin Kaepernick was so good. I loved Colin Kaepernick. He was fun to watch. He wasn't as fun to watch as Michael Vick, but he was fun to watch.
Right.
So, but I feel like Jim Harbaugh would be a perfect fit for Chicago.
I think you're right.
I think I wouldn't mind getting I think it's weird how some coaches have a hard time transitioning from coordinator to coach.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Like Fangio, he
was killer in Chicago.
Oh, and he was good in Denver as far as calling defense and stuff. But and he was a players coach, and the players got behind him. But he just had zero clue when it came to in-game decision making, timeouts, time management, challenges, just all the basic stuff you need to know for, or just let's go for it on fourth, or let's go for the touchdown here rather than the field goal, or let's take a field goal rather than try and go for it on fourth down to the touchdown, take the points instead. Just all the little details of in-game decision making. Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
I don't know, because I mean, obviously you watch Broncos games and I don't.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, that does sound inconsistencies like that. It's hard. They're professionals. Expectations are high. Everyone wants a championship. So you bring a championship to a town. You have growth, and there's more money, and then you know what I mean. There's always a championship is huge for a town.
Well, he's another guy that just has that old school mindset where it's like he's a great coordinator, an amazing coordinator. He's just not meant to be a head coach, I don't think.
Kind of just like Jack Del Rio.
Pretty much.
Another example that comes to me. One of those defensive-minded coaches.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind I think it'd be cool if Lovie Smith came back.
I didn't even think it, because he's still out there, yeah.
Yeah, he is, and when the Bears got rid of Lovie Smith, I don't understand. We finished the season 10-6 and missed the playoffs, which I would understand their frustration because we started the season that year. We started 7-0, and we finished 10-6.
Isn't that the worst?
I was like, what?
I
remember that. I remember that season very well, and they fired Lovie Smith. I could understand in that scenario why you would, but when you had consistent success. I mean, he made the playoffs a couple more times. I mean, it wasn't like he was terrible. You know what I mean? Like like a Brian Flores situation. You finish with a winning season and you get fired.
Right.
I'm like, what?
See, and I don't know.
That comes to, like I said, just comes to expectations.
I don't think they would bring him back just because of. I think the fans wouldn't appreciate that. I think they really want them to bid for Harbaugh.
I think Harbaugh. Brian Flores, I think, seems to be the biggest. If they brought in Doug Peterson, I do not want Doug Peterson.
See, and I don't really want Dan Quinn. Like, they keep talking like Dan Quinn's gonna be the guy. He was the old Falcons head coach.
Oh yeah. I was really trying to think about that. Yeah,
and I think he'd be okay. I want a young, offensive-minded coach. We've had two defensive-minded head coaches, and it just hasn't worked out. And it seems to be this young, offensive-minded coach is like the mold right now. Kyle Shanahan, freaking Zach Taylor.
Who's the one for the Rams?
Sean McVay.
Sean McVay.
Kevin Stefanski. Brian
Flores.
or Matt LaFleur.
Oh, Matt LaFleur. Do you know he played for the Billings Outlaws?
I did.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was like, wow. I was like, that's wild.
Yeah, but like it just seems to be like the winning mold right now. And of course, you still got your Belichick's and guys like that. But
well, the thing I think with Belichick and Andy Reid is they can I think some coaches have a hard time adapting. Well, let me start from the beginning. Young-minded coaches are the best right now because the NFL is really at a point where it's changing. You know what I mean?
Mobile quarterback.
Yeah. It's like completely revamped, and a lot of those old school mindsets. Like
run first
stuff like that. But I mean that stuff. I mean run first. I mean that shit still works.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
but you got to do it a certain way.
Exactly, and that's tough. Like,
and you have to be able to open the passing game up.
Exactly.
If the passing game is no threat, then the run game is never going to work.
And vice versa.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they really complicate.
You got to be balanced.
Exactly. But I feel like that's why it's working out so well. But like Belichick and Andy Reid, they can adapt.
Right.
Some coaches have a hard time. I'm the black and blue division in the NFL, and so I have a real like run game first, pass game second. It's my mindset. I mean, you got a strong running game, you won't even need the passing.
Right. Well, and like you said, it's both ways. You got to have a threat on run to open up the pass game too.
Oh yeah.
So finding that balance, but you have to be able to, like you said, these defenses are just tough now. So you got to be able to strategize offensively to open that up.
The toughest position in the NFL to play is a cornerback. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if I played defensive line and offensive line, and I played linebacker for a little bit. The hardest position in the NFL or in football in general is cornerback.
You're running backwards half the time.
It's insane, and I don't know what would need to change. Because seriously, the passing game is so blown open because the receivers are so protected now, and the cornerbacks have pretty much nothing in their arsenal to defend them. It's like either this guy's got to be literally a 5 out of 5 fucking athlete to guard the 6'4" man that can run a 4.2. It's like, I don't understand. Like, no wonder why there's so many good fucking receivers like Justin Jefferson and Devontae Adams and Julio Jones. It's like, well, yeah, of course they're going to be fucking good. The cornerback can't do anything.
Yeah, they can't hardly touch him.
Yeah, and I'm like, I was like, whatever then, I guess. Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. They do that 5-yard rule. You know what I mean? You're allowed to actually like push and shove the wide receiver within 5 yards.
Right.
And I really don't know. And it's tough.
Teams will run pick plays and stuff like that, and that's just so hard to defend.
It is.
And
seriously, and like the double moves a wide receiver can do compared to a cornerback, like
I guarantee if they showed like a chart of most penalized players, offensive line might be number one just for holding and stuff like that, or false starts, but cornerback's got to be second.
Well, yeah, I don't know how else they expect to slow down these wide receivers. It's insane. Like you would need just the nuts of a guy for cornerback, and I feel like you play that position, like good for you, man. Like it's tough. Even really good cornerbacks like Darrelle Revis, Richard Sherman, Kyle Fuller, like these real shut down cornerbacks, and it's tough, man. These wide receivers are getting so much bigger and so much faster, and I don't understand why cornerbacks are so small.
I know.
That cornerbacks are usually like 5'9", 5'10".
Right.
Wide receivers are like 6'4", 6'3".
Yeah, it's
what?
I don't get it either. Like, I think cornerback probably will be the next evolutionary, because they have to change.
I think another thing is I get that they're trying to protect the quarterback. These targeting rules.
There's
helmet
some
to
that are
helmet.
just so weak. Like if you just tap the guy on the helmet.
Yeah, like illegal hands to the face, because they're really. I get it. They're trying to like get rid of concussions and injuries, and I get it. But it's like once you wrap up a quarterback, like I want you to wrap up that quarterback and slam him on the fucking ground.
Well, and it fucks him up too because I even saw this when Denver played Kansas City. If the quarterback's running out of the off running the ball, but the guys will whiff on tackles because they're too afraid to hit him.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just like slow down, and then the guy just keeps going because he's not afraid to get hit.
Yeah,
But they're too afraid to hit him.
yeah, exactly. It's tough, man. I mean, defense is already hard enough to play. There's just so much advantage the offense gets compared to defense.
Well,
now.
it's done purposefully because they want high scoring games. They want a lot of action because that's what gets viewers and shit.
Yeah, and I think it's way cooler to see defensive plays than offensive plays.
Yeah.
Like you sack a quarterback, the ball's in the air, and a fat
Pick.
lineman catches it, and he run into the end zone.
Yeah.
That's way more.
There's nothing more exciting than a pick six.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. And I just feel like the NFL has become so. You got to have like foam on your hands. I don't know, and I get it. I feel like when you play football, you sign a waiver, so like, you realize the risks of the game. You realize what's going to happen to you, and you still play it. And they're trying to alleviate that. It's like if you go into this, it's like if you go into there, you're going to get burned, and it's like you go in there and you get burned, and then you complain.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you knew what was going to happen. It's like, but then we got to do something to where you can't get burned anymore, even though that is literally like the biggest risk. Same thing with the NFL. It's like you're going to have concussions, you're going to have broken bones. Like these are things that's like I miss a wide receiver going to catch a ball and him just getting lit the fuck up. Like, and you see those plays now and it's almost hard to watch. I'm almost not excited anymore to see the defense out there.
I know.
Cuz it's like PI.
Yeah, you basically
targeting.
just have to have an offense that can score 35 points.
Yeah, it's getting to be a little ridiculous, especially with the protection of the quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, no wonder why Tom Brady's playing 21 fucking years. The guy never gets touched.
Right. I think he only missed one season for injury.
Yeah, that's when the new rules got started implemented, when he tore his ACL.
Of course.
He got his ACL torn.
So many rules have been changed because of him.
Yeah. And I think you're going to see more quarterbacks playing longer now too because of those rules, like Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger. Well, I think Ben Roethlisberger's done.
He already said he's done.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I hope he goes on one more game though, because I'd love to see the Chiefs go out in the first round. I think that defense could stop the Chiefs. I don't know if that offense can.
I don't know, man.
Put on enough
Mahomes
points.
is a fucking magician.
He is, but TJ Watt, man, if he can get to him, if that defense can.
Oh, by the way,
pressure on him,
I think TJ. This is the other thing I was gonna. Records in the NFL now that there's an extra game.
Yeah.
They're like, TJ Watt tied Michael Strahan. It's like, technically no.
Well, technically yes, though, because TJ played less games than he was out a couple games this year.
Really?
Yeah. I think TJ actually only played like 15 or 14 games.
Okay, then that makes it a lot better.
Yeah.
Like Robert Quinn, he's now the Bears' all-time sack leader, but he got it in the 16th game.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I recognize it as a record now, because
Right.
he got it in the 16th game to beat Richard Dent out.
Yeah.
And so
because they were showing the stats where like, TJ played less games than Strahan did when Strahan got his record.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! Then that makes it way cooler.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's only tied. There was another one that could have been counted as a sack, but it was like a fumble. Like the quarterback fumbled the snap, and so they didn't technically count that as a sack.
Yeah, that's because it can't. Because then at that point,
It's a live ball.
it's a live ball. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, like Dak Prescott, that 17th game broke a Cowboys record. Beat Tony
okay.
because he threw 5 extra touchdowns or something like that. Then Tony Romo, it's like, well, no shit, he had an extra game.
Right.
So,
Well,
but then you're right. I gotta consider. I don't know how many games. I don't. Unless you watch the game, you don't know their team. You don't know. So maybe Dak
Yeah.
Prescott did miss a game or two.
yeah.
Then the record would mean something.
And I thought the same as you with the TJ Watt thing until I saw it, because I wouldn't have known that he was out.
Yeah,
Like, there wasn't a lot of, especially with defense players, because you kind of know with fantasy football,
yeah,
you can kind of tell,
yeah.
but
See, and I don't play fantasy football. I just...
Oh, okay. See, I got third place on my fantasy.
You get any money for that?
I get money back.
You
What
get money
I put in.
Oh, fucking ain't not bad.
I can't remember if it was 20 or 40 bucks.
I just don't like doing that because, like, let's say, fuck, why wouldn't I grab Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah,
in
right.
fantasy, you know what I mean? It's like I need you to throw 5 touchdowns against the Bears, but not have the Bears lose.
Oh, it's tough. It's tough.
It's like, so I decided just to eliminate it completely.
Yeah, I mean, you can separate the two. If I'm watching, because I can still have the player that's playing against Denver not score a bunch of points and still win fantasy and the Broncos game.
Yeah.
But ultimately, whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Yeah.
So you can kind of just separate the two. When I watch the Broncos game, I'm all invested in the Broncos. If a guy on my fantasy scores, I'm not like...
Oh, no, because I'm a big gambler too.
Yeah.
And so I'd have to watch it. So no, I just completely eliminated it. I didn't want to play fantasy.
Oh, dude, and we were talking about gambling last time too, and I guess we can touch on that as well. But like, I don't think I'm gonna. I'm done football betting this year for sure. I'm not gonna do the playoffs. I thought about it, but dude, I only won 1 out of maybe 8 times this year.
Oh, really?
But I always did the point spread because you just get bigger wins on it.
Oh, see, I never did that. I always bet on individual players.
Yeah, you do prop bets, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's, like I said, I bet on Darnell Mooney. That was my 3rd time betting on him. So that's $60 invested, and I cashed out for $120, so I was up 60.
See, and I feel like that's a better move for me because I feel like I know players better, and I can predict wins.
Yeah,
I just can't predict the point spread. That's the hard part.
Yeah, that's hard. Yeah, and so I just eliminated that as well. I'm like, I'll just bet on individual players. Like Daniel Jones, when Daniel Jones was playing, I don't know, whatever team, because I went in to cash my ticket because I had to wait the day before. You know what I mean? Because it wouldn't cash it in.
Right.
So I had to go in the next day, and I was like, well, I'll bet. Then there was a game tonight. I think it was Monday night. I think that would make sense because I cashed my ticket the next day. Daniel Jones, I bet Daniel Jones would throw 4 touchdowns, and the payout was like $583 on a $20 bet. It was huge, and I was like, I fucking doubt it. I was like, but $20? I was like, all right. He ended up throwing 2,
Yeah.
which was cool. If he would have had if I would have checked the game period, if he would have had 3, I'd have been like, "Ooh!"
See, that makes it kind of exciting too, though. It makes all the games more interesting.
It does, especially when you're like betting on a player in a game. Like, so, like I think I might do that for like the Sunday or Monday night game.
Right.
Kind of just bet on a player there. And like it also depends. They do factor in like if you if you bet Tom Brady's going to throw 3 touchdowns, you bet $20, your payout's like 38. Like no shit, Tom Brady's going to throw 3 touchdowns. But Daniel Jones, who's terrible, throwing 4 touchdowns, yeah, of course the payout's going to be huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They also go off how good the player is. So
right.
I think that's why Darnell Mooney's payout was pretty good. Because you know what I mean? Like he was.
Oh, yeah, the odds are... It's got to be based on the odds of the player's success rate.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to... Like you said, the odds of like Jamar Chase getting a touchdown are pretty good.
Yeah.
But the odds of like T. Higgins getting a touchdown are not as good.
Yeah, exactly. So he also just got to bet on it like that. And sometimes I bet... I know my buddy, he bets at halftime. He'll go and bet and say, oh, I bet the Bears will be the first team to score and it's going to be a touchdown. He'll bet $20 and it'll be like $80.
Yeah.
Something
Just
like
little
that.
prop bets.
Yeah, exactly. And
I haven't really gotten into that world, but really what I'm better at with sports betting is fighting. Like,
oh, really?
there's so fewer elements to think about. Because all you got to do is look at this guy's skills. And I've watched a lot of fights, so I know guys' tendencies in the cage and stuff where it's like, I know this guy's a grappler. I know this guy's not good at wrestling. So it's like, you can look at the matchups kind of and tell, or there's just so many less factors where it's like you got a full team you're looking at. The Bucks could lose to they almost lost to the Jets.
Well, like the Colts losing to Jaguars.
Yeah. I mean, you can't predict that.
Bro, that game was sick. I watched that one because I was watching my game.
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, yeah, you were there. Yeah, you were there. That's right, yeah. And that game was sick. That was fun to watch Trevor Lawrence go off.
Oh, yeah, that was...
It was fun. Oh, I also just love seeing the Colts lose. Fuck
Of
the
course.
Colts.
Well, and the fact that they were just a win and in. All they had to do was win.
Yeah,
and then they
to
lost to the
yeah.
2-15 Jags.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I can't believe the Chargers called a timeout.
That was so dumb.
Fucking stupid.
And that was a great game. And you know what sucks too is Justin Herbert deserved to win that game with that performance at the end. What did he get? 5 fourth down conversions?
Yeah, it was something. I watched the whole game. It was something fucking retarded. I mean, I was going for the Raiders hardcore. I mean, that's my best friend's team.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, I hate both the teams because...
Oh, I was going to say, well, yeah, no shit. It's just like me. Like, I would never go for the Vikings or Packers.
Right.
I would go for the Lions.
But it was an amazing game.
It was an amazing game. But seriously, I mean, all the Chargers had to do was stop Josh Jacobs on that run.
Right.
I mean, he ran for like 15 or 18 yards.
Right. And I shouldn't say the Raiders didn't deserve to get there because obviously a hard-fought game, and they did well in that overtime.
If the Colts would have won... Like, that would have eliminated, like, a bunch of games.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this game doesn't matter, this game doesn't... But the fact that the Colts lost, like, opened up it for everybody.
Well, that last game would have been... Somebody still was going to make it in.
Yeah, well, it was either going to be the Steelers, Ravens, Chargers, or Raiders.
Right.
Actually, I think the Dolphins were still in the mix there, too.
They needed a lot to happen.
Yeah, I think they needed...
I think they needed all those guys to lose.
I think they needed everyone to tie, actually. The Colts needed to lose, and I think both the Raiders had the tie, and...
It was a weird situation.
It was a weird situation, I think. I don't know. I'd have to double check on something like that.
Right.
You know, I'm saying all these things. I was like, well, I don't really know. I'm just kind of going off of memory.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's yeah.
So then, okay, tell me about some of your other gambling ventures. I know we were talking about poker. You like poker?
Oh fuck! Last night, man, I lost like $400-500.
Holy shit!
It was great.
See, it was great, but I mean.
No, so what happened is my girlfriend started with 100 and I started with 100, and we were at the Atlantis.
Oh, they do poker too?
Oh no, this is just machines.
Oh, okay.
No, this isn't poker. This is just machines.
Gotcha.
And I'm gonna have to remember. She got like 180 free games, cashed out a $500 ticket, and then but that was her second 100, so she actually was only up like 300, and I was up 160, and then after the Atlantis we went to where the fuck did we go? We went to the Lodge Casino. That casino sucks.
Oh really? Where's that at?
That's
I've never heard of that.
It's right there off of 27th and Gable. I just don't like it because it doesn't have any of the machines I like to play. I went in there, I was playing a poker game, hit 4 of a kind on a ×2 multiplier. It was like $160, but I already put in. Oh no, I won. I cashed out for like 140, but I put in 80. Took that, went and played some other star game I played, and I hit for 100 on that, but I was already in for 80. So, you know, what I mean, like real small wins. And then we went to that Casino 8 right there off 32nd and Gable, and that's when I started hitting. I started with $100, and I had $400 on me.
Okay.
Because my girlfriend gave me $100.
Okay.
And so I'm at 400 right now. And then we go to the Leo Casino, which is that new one there right next to Asian Sea Grill. We didn't win shit there, and there's another casino next to it called Bet. And I had put in my last 100, and I was at to like 250, I think, 280, something like that. And I wanted to try to get back up to 400 and then cash out and leave, but I ended up losing it all. And then she had her big win, and so I think she said she started the night with like 460, and she had 400 on her. So that means we only lost $60.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, I mean we did have way more money. Right. And like she was upset that we didn't have the extra money. I was like, we just got to think. And like we rarely go out on Friday nights because most time Friday night's my gambling night. Go out with my friends, hang out, and do whatever we want. But I have to refelt my poker table tonight with my buddy at his house because we put new felt on it. But if you're gonna refelt a poker table, you can't use real felt because the longevity of it's just not that good with poker because you're really like dealing all the time in hands and people are doing like it just
touching it a lot.
Yeah. And so we're gonna go get cowhide.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, we saw it. We should have just fucking bought it the first time because I really don't want to refelt it again. But we're gonna go buy that cowhide and do that. So we were hanging out on a Friday night, and I had to tell her. I was just like, "Listen, like honestly, we went and had dinner. We gambled all night, and I'm like, I was a little late today because I was hurting bad today.
Yeah,
it was, dude. Because my buddy mentioned something about White Claws, and so when I went to the casino, I was super full. So I didn't want like a beer.
Something filling.
Yeah, something filling. So I was like something lighter.
A seltzer is
yeah,
a good
so I was,
choice.
Yeah, I was just like, it's not heavy like a beer. You know what I mean? So I was drinking those. And fuck, man, this morning was rough. Yeah, and it was tough. I almost thought about telling you I couldn't make it. I was like, no, I can't do that. I was like, I'm commit. When I commit to something, I usually do it. You know what I mean? I could probably maybe name like 2 things I've done in my whole life where like I was just like, I can't do it. But no, if I tell you I'm gonna come, I'm coming.
Yeah, Daddy.
I'm always coming.
Dude, I love that video you sent, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
That's pretty great.
But yeah, so we ended up, she started with 460 and she had 400 in her wallet. And those were all her winnings from when she won 900 the other day.
Oh, wow.
And so, but like bills and stuff like that, of course she used most of the money already.
Uh-huh.
And so I told her, I'm like, listen, we're only down $60. We gambled everywhere tonight. And I was like, and the problem is, even though you're up the money, it's fun just to sit there and push the button.
Well, and you're out having fun sometimes,
Yeah, it's tough too because everyone's like, oh, you have fun pushing the button because it's addictive. When it is, like, you can't deny it.
It's just like a video game.
Yeah.
People. I mean, the only difference between an actual video game and gambling is the money aspect, and even that's not very true with video games anymore. Like, there's so many in-game purchases.
Exactly. And so it was for entertainment. Now I told her, I'm like, listen, yeah, we're up. Most of the time, my rule is whatever you're willing to, you can only gamble. It's just like all the rules they say in gambling. You only gamble with money you can afford to lose, and only bet what you're willing to lose.
Right.
Exactly. But I mean, the bigger the bets, the bigger the win.
Yeah.
And so, like lately, I've been max betting, especially because if you get into the game with a multiplier, max bet.
Oh, dude,
all you got to do
to win something
because it's super hard to hit 7 out of 7 and 6 out of 7, and it's still kind of hard to hit 5 out of 7. But if you're max betting and you get a ×5 multiplier, your 3 and 4 hits is what's gonna. Those are way easier to hit than 6 out of 7 or 7 out of 7.
Yeah.
So when you're max betting and you get into the bonus, and you got the multiplier, your 3 and 4 hits that are more likely to happen is what's gonna get you fucking money. That's what's gonna a 3 hit, 4 hit, 3 hit, 4. Then occasionally you'll have that 5 hit, and the payout difference between a 4 hit and a 5 hit is big.
Well, and when you get the free games and stuff, then it just adds up.
Exactly. And so that's why it's important when you. But if you're only betting like 50 cents, then your 3 and 4 hits are piddly. You know what I mean? Like at that point, you still have to hit a 6 out of 7 or a 7 out of 7.
So you mostly do Keno then on the.
I used to do poker. I used to be just strictly poker because I loved like cash climb games, free games, 20 free games ×7. And then I just started playing Monster Mania.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah, I started playing Monster Mania and I was winning on that. I was not winning on Monster Mania for a long time, and I was playing a couple of other ones. But there's another one called Jungle Treasure.
Okay.
It's literally exactly like Monster Mania.
Okay.
It's the exact same thing, except there's 3 pyramids you got to hit. You hit the 3 pyramids, you go into a bonus. And it's like old like Mayan looking artwork, you know what I mean? Like, and so you pick like these coins and you pick them, they have ×2 through ×12, just like Monster Mania.
Yeah.
And you pick them, and same thing, in Monster Mania you pay for your games though. But
I know.
But your multipliers are huge.
You're right. And it's when it hits the different guys.
Exactly. She had actually had a ×11 multiplier.
And it keeps going until you hit them all, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so she had a ×11 multiplier, and she hit 5 out of 7, and it was like $500.
Damn.
See, and that's what I'm saying. When you bet big,
you win big.
You win big. You ×2. That's what you don't have to rely. You want to make it to where you don't have to rely hitting 6 out of 7 or 7 out of 7 or even 5 out of 7. You want to start winning when you're hitting 3 out of 7 and 4 out of 7 because that's way easier to hit. And so you bet big, you get big multipliers. Your small hits are starting to become big hits. If you have a ×12, your small hit went from being $2 to 24. And 3 numbers is way easier to hit than 7, like I'm saying.
Right.
So if you just keep hitting 3 and 3 and 3 and 3 by your 5th 3, you already made $100.
Right.
Where if you didn't have that multiplier, or if you were only betting $1, it was only $12. You literally doubled your money. And so you got to be real careful about that. Like I said, it's fun. It's you want to go out and you want the machine to play with you a little bit. You go out, you want to have some drinks, you want to gamble. I mean, if you sit down and 5 pushes in, you hit $800. Dude, it's sick. Yeah, you won $800, but you didn't even get to play.
Yeah.
And it's like,
but that's nice too, because then you can. What I always do is I'll usually pocket most of my winnings, and I'll take the rest of the winnings and play with it.
Yeah.
If it's quick like that. The worst is when you put in like $20, $100, whatever, and then it just goes like that.
Yeah.
Like there's no fun in it at all. Because
Yeah.
then I mean, that's part of the thing is it's wanting you to play more.
It's all, there's so many factors and
Of course.
superstitions you hear from people about different things. Like, my mom always played, she's like, you always play 7 numbers. You never play 4, 6, 10. You always play 7 numbers.
You got to be on this speed.
Yeah, in this speed, and you got to be over
The volume's got to be on this level.
Yes, there's a bunch of shit like that. And, and sometimes you believe them because, like, my buddy Cody, he says, this guy said he plays Zeus all the time.
See, the Ancient Thunder.
Yeah, dude, my buddy Cody, I watched him hit Zeus like 10 times in one night.
See, I've only ever hit it twice, and I was betting small, so
he max bets when you get to that wheel.
Oh, dude,
every single one's 800.
What?
Yeah. That's why you bet big.
Right.
So yeah, because he got in there, and you get the option to respin. He did it anyway. Might as well. He went around with that arrow. Every single one was 800.
Fuck.
And so I was like, he told me about it. I was like, did you push the respin button? He's like, well, fuck yeah, I did. Like, why not? I was like, yeah, I guess, yeah. Yeah, so that's why. But yeah, I mean, like, you bet big, you also lose big.
Yeah.
Like I said, you just got to get lucky. That's how it goes. And I've been fortunate enough. Oh, fuck. Last weekend, man, I fucking cashed out for I put in $700, cashed out for 11 or 12 that night.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But if I didn't fucking hit,
then that's a lot out.
That's a lot of money. But now I've almost doubled my money.
Right.
And so,
well, that's why they call it gambling.
That's why they call it gambling. But like I said, you always got to be smart about it. And we weren't. I wouldn't say we. I would say me more. And I should have analyzed it a little better. But I was me and my girlfriend don't go out too often. So that was my biggest thing. I was just having fun, just being out with her at the casino, having a few drinks. And that was my thing. When we went, we should have left after Casino 8, I feel like.
Yeah.
We should have been like, yeah, I have 400, and she was up a little bit, and I was like, we should have just called it a night.
Hindsight.
But it was early.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean,
as long as you had fun, that's the whole.
That's what I told her. I'm like, listen, we're only down $60 technically, and I was like, we're only down $60, and we had a good time.
Well, it's like people go out and do other things and spend money, and they don't look at it like anything because they were just out having fun. Well, that's what you were doing. It's like,
yeah, the big thing, but the way you're talking right there, that's people would consider that an addict's reasoning.
Sure, but yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but
I see what you're saying.
We can sit here and try to justify it all we want.
But I could say, it's addicting to go out and drink and buy shots and stuff like that, and you're spending $150 in just alcohol.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's a lot of money just out the drain.
It is, and I feel like a lot of people are just judge. Here's the thing: only as long my mortgage is paid, my car is paid, utilities are paid, credit cards are paid. I got this money. I should be able to do whatever the fuck I want.
It's just a mental game,
Exactly.
It's if you can mentally be able to say, okay, I'm done. I can walk away. I've lost so much. I'm not gonna keep putting more money in just to win my money back. Or if it's oh, I won big, I can step away now and be happy with that. It's all a mental game. Or it's like you said, I'm only willing to spend this amount of money. I won't go over this spending limit because this is expendable money.
Yeah. So like I said, you always want to use like you said, well, how much are you willing to lose? It's we and her went out, well, we're each gonna do 100. We lose this 100, we're done.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. And so I had that 100 left, and I'm like, well, this 100's not gone,
right?
Which is I'm just making up excuses to keep gambling because I'm not gonna sit here and lie. It does get addictive. It's addictive to win. It's addictive to push the button. Just like it's addictive to go out and drink with your friends and have shots. Exactly, everything. They know how to get you.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna sit here and deny that it's not addictive, but I mean, there are people that go out there and drop their whole paycheck in one sitting,
and then they don't have rent.
Yeah, and they don't have rent. It's
but that's kind of the thrill of it, I think. That's they get thrilled by the idea that they could lose everything. And then when they do, then they're fucking fucked.
Yeah.
But that's it. It's the thrill of the risk.
What do you think is the fine line for, do you think, and some people don't say there's no difference levels in addiction. Would you say compared to the guy that sits there and drops his whole paycheck trying to hit whatever, or compared to me, I started with 100 and I was up $300. Most people would have been like, oh fuck, I would have cashed out and left.
Yeah.
Like I said, we should have, but I was I felt like I was in the zone and I could have kept going. Like I said, that's probably just the addictive part, probably telling me, like, making up excuses for me to keep gambling. You know what I mean? And so I should have walked away, but I knew I wasn't in for like $400 or $500. That's where it gets bad. That's the kind of person I am. If I'm in for like $300, I want to keep putting in because I want to try to get the money back.
Yeah.
And that's where I get fucked. Most people just keep putting it in because they just want to play.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, compared to the guy that loses all of his rent money and his whole paycheck, or compared to me that didn't cash out and walk out with the $400 I had, it's like, are those different levels of addiction, or is it the same?
I think it's technically the same, but that guy's got more to lose. You know, like you could lose that money and still be fine.
Yeah.
But it's like that guy's playing with his last dime.
Yeah.
You know, and I think maybe you're right. There is a little bit of a difference because he's playing for something. Maybe that guy's playing, like I said, it's the risk of losing it all.
Mm-hmm.
Where like you're just trying to win your money back. Like it might be a different mindset, but it's probably drawn off the same addiction.
Exactly. I was gonna say, and I don't really have an addictive personality. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. Like I've done pills and coke and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like I've done shit like that before, and it just, I don't know how people
Stay on it.
Yeah. I mean, one night's rough enough, man. And I'm like, every single day?
Right.
And I'm like, holy fuck, how?
Well, see, and I'm remember last time I was hungover with you.
Yeah.
I'm 15 days dry right now,
Oh, no shit. Good for you, man.
and I'm not. It's not a plan to be like that.
No,
like
no,
I'm not trying to go sober. It's just a reset.
Yeah, I
And
agree with you.
It's nice. Like I feel like it's been a nice little cleanse.
Yeah, I've done a couple of those too, where you take like a week or two off.
Yeah. I started on the first, and I've just been going. Like I probably, I don't know. I was planning on going the whole month, but I feel good now. I feel like I've done what I set out to do.
Yeah.
So maybe like next week I'll have a couple or something.
Yeah, whatever you got to do, man. I mean,
I've
done that before. I mean, dude, when I was on vacation, man, it was like every day, and I was like, I need water.
Oh, dude.
And after that, I took I think like 2 or 3 weeks off.
Yeah, it gets nice to not feel miserable.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
You know, it's like, God, I like waking up on a Saturday and not being like wanting to stay in bed till 2:00.
Yep. Oh fuck, that's so funny. That was me today.
Dude, I get it. I've been there. You know, it's like I just wanted a little bit of a reset.
Oh, I just can't believe how bad those White Claws fucking got to me.
Well, and it might be. I think they are pretty high alcohol.
They're 5%.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I drink Budweiser, and that's 5%.
Okay, but maybe it just hits you differently because it's.
I know, and this is weird. I haven't felt a hangover like this in a while.
Right.
And I'm like, fuck.
And it's just like wine. You know, wine hits you differently.
Yeah, and so I'm never doing that again. Is what I'm telling you.
Your body might have just processed it differently.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. But getting back to gambling and everything like that, yeah, the biggest rule I can say is just set what you can bet, set what you can lose, and like know when to walk away is the biggest thing. I would never. I'm gonna be honest here. There was one night where I was a little drunk and I got caught up and I spent my car money and my insurance money.
Uh-huh.
And it was tough to go talk to my girlfriend about that. It was super hard, super embarrassing. Dude, it was rough. Let me tell you what.
You can take that experience and realize, like,
Dude,
I don't want to feel that again.
Dude, I'm not. There's no fucking way. I did it. So like that guy that spends his whole rent money, if he gets off losing all the money, whatever, that's not for me. I sat. It was embarrassing. Oh, and to top it off, I broke my phone that night.
Because you were mad?
Because I was mad. And, dude, at that point, that was kind of like... Most people's low points, obviously, were way lower than I was at that night.
It was a bad feeling.
Yeah, dude, bad. It doesn't even cover it. It was terrible. Dude, I'd never want to feel like that again. I never want to be in that position again. And I made sure it's not going to happen. So when I said we started with that 100 and we lost that 100, we were done.
I mean, it's like... just a learning experience.
It sucks. You know? It sucks as human beings. The best way to learn is to fuck up.
Yeah,
I hate that. I hate that that's a thing. I can sit here and tell you, like, just like I said, oh man, don't do that. That sucks. And I can tell you, like, okay, I won't do that.
Like,
but
learn
until
from my experience.
Yeah, but until you actually do it yourself, you're not gonna.
You gotta feel that pain.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta feel it, and then it's like, don't slam your hand in that door. I've done it. It sucks. Oh, okay. Proceeds to slam hand in the door. Wow, why didn't I listen to you? That sucks.
Yeah.
But now that you know, you won't do it again. And
exactly.
I hate that that's a thing. But with You wanted to get back to poker? That's what you wanted to talk about?
Oh, well, I mean, I just know you like to do the live tables. And
Oh,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that, too.
Well, like tonight, well, I have a buddy coming in from Bozeman. And so I don't know if we're going to go play poker. We're probably going to go grab beers somewhere else, probably shoot some pool or something like that.
Right on.
Because I don't know if he actually plays poker or not. If he can, I really would like to play some poker tonight. Probably go up to the Gold Dust. I mean, up to Bugsy's or the Gold Dust. I like Bugsy's. It just sucks. It's all the way in the fucking heights.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. You ever play live ones?
Not at the casinos.
No.
No. I'm just... I know it well enough. I guess I haven't played recently, so I might be a little rusty. But it's intimidating to sit down with a bunch of people that know what they're doing.
It is. I agree. With the first time I went to a live card room, it is intimidating because you see all these old guys. It's like, fuck, they've been doing this for years. And like, if you don't know your shit, you get embarrassed.
Yeah.
Dude, when I sat down, I looked at the dealer and said, listen, man, this is like my first time at a card room. I'm like, I know how to play like some Texas Hold'em, but I'm confused on the blinds and some of the lingo.
Yes, that does confuse me.
And I told him, I was like, I'm kind of confused. He's like, don't worry, we'll help you through it. Is what he said.
Well, the dealer wants you there because you're spending money.
Yeah,
but it's the other guys that you're like, ugh.
No, but they're helpful too. Sometimes the
awesome.
other guys are like, when you do this, you got to do that. I'm like, okay, and you just got to be honest. You just go sit down and tell them like, hey, this is this and this is that, and it's different once you get a general basis. They're across the board the same, but every card room is different. Like you go to the Crystal, they have a 2-3 blind or something like that, and then you go to the Red Door and they have a 2-10 blind. You go up to the Gold Dust, they have a single $5 blind, and then up at the Gold Dust, it's a minimum $2 blind, but you could make it $400 if you wanted, because there's a pot. You can only win $800 on a Keno machine. You can only win $800 per pot. At a live poker table.
Right.
And what I mean per pot is there are side pots. So let's say we had 5 guys go all in, and it's like, oh, okay, one of the guys is all in for this pot, and so this capped at 800. The 4 other guys got put money into this pot. It's like, okay, that creates a third pot. It's per pot. It just depends on how much money the people have.
Right.
Because you know what I mean? If you're all in for 800, but this guy next to you has 2,000, and he goes all in, and this guy over here has 2,000 as well, and he goes all in, then they got to split those into different pots.
Right.
So that's how that works. But it is intimidating. But once you get used to it, it's pretty easy to go. And like you said, if you just get the base, I tell everyone, I'm like, you ever play Yahtzee?
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah.
See, and I know the hands, and I know I'm pretty good at Texas Hold'em. Like Texas Hold'em, I'm decent at. It's like
that's all there really is. You can play some Omaha.
Yeah.
It's like, but I don't like Omaha.
Yeah.
And if you really want to learn, you can go. I think it's either Sundays or Mondays at America. They have quarters, quarter poker.
Okay.
So $20, and you only bet by quarters instead of like whole dollar amounts.
Sure.
That way you can learn, and your money lasts a lot longer. But the problem with limit games, that's the thing. There's a big difference between limit and no limit games. If it's a limit game like 210 or 26, it gets to be. Sorry, my foot really itches.
Oh, you're good.
It gets to be dangerous because, or not dangerous, sloppy. I like the word sloppy because when you are gambling no limit, you can protect your hand. So let's say pre-flop your hand, you have ace king. These Joe Schmucks over here have 2-6, 2-8, 3-7, something like that. Well, in a no limit game, you have ace king. Your odds are pretty good with your hand. You want to bet big pre-flop to get those weak hands out.
Yeah.
See, but that's delving more into poker theory.
Well, it just makes it harder to bluff. And
it makes it
easier to bluff on a no limit.
Exactly. If it's limit, then if it's 2-6, the most you can bet 6 pre-flop with ace king. Well, these other guys don't care. They went in for $100. What's $6?
Yeah.
They're just there to gamble. So 2-7, which is statistically the worst hand in poker. It's like, it's funny. I always play 2-7 just because it is statistically the worst hand in poker.
Yeah.
And I always try to like bluff out on it. Or maybe I'll catch a 2 or something. I don't know. But I always just play it just for the lulz. And these guys, they'll go in with a limit game. They'll go in with all those bad hands. Doesn't matter. The only way they would fold is if you would have to bet 6, the guy after you would have to raise, and the guy after him would have to raise, because that would cap out the raises at 18. So then all the other guys ahead of them with the bad hands would now have to put in $18, which is a little more scary than 6. But most of them will probably still call because they're bad poker players. So, but you go to a limit game, and let's say someone makes it 10. Well, I have ace king pre-flop, and I bet $100.
Okay.
$100. There's those hands 2-6, 3-6, 2-8, whatever, 9-3. They're gonna fold. They're like, fuck, I only went in for 100. That's my whole stack on this one hand, and they're gonna fold. So you can protect your hand a lot better. That's why I like no limit a little more. But limit poker's good if you're learning and just want to have fun and drink some beers. So that's a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, I've played like with my friends and stuff like that. And so you still do poker like nights then?
Yeah, you should come try that sometime, man.
I'm down.
It's every Friday night. We start at 7. It's a tournament style, and that's a good play. We'll help you out too. We play it close to a casino setting. The only difference is the chip colors are different, and actually I think that's the only thing that's different. We do so you most of the time seat 1 always gets the blind. We draw for the button.
Okay.
So we fan out the cards. Whoever has the highest card gets the button.
Yeah.
It's the only thing we do a little different.
And do you do little and big blind?
We do a single big blind.
Okay.
But when we go, so if you go play a tournament,
It's little.
you're allowed to buy. There's levels, and so when I went to Vegas and played in a tournament there, you were allowed. There was a total of 12 levels, and you were allowed to lose in the tournament and buy back in before the 6th level.
Oh.
So we do something similar where between 7 and 9, you can buy back in whenever you want, only $60 limit, but then after 9 o'clock, it becomes the tournament, and it's single elimination. We switch from a single blind to a small and big blind, and the blinds go up every 20 minutes, just like in a real tournament.
Right.
So we do.
So what's your buy-in?
The most you can buy in $20 to $60.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, so you get to choose whatever you want to buy in for, but fuck, there are some poker nights I've bought in 5 times.
Yeah.
So that's whatever 5, that's $300.
Yeah.
But I ended up winning, taking home 1,000. There were a couple of pots there where they were huge. I think the biggest pot we had was like $1,400.
Yeah, it's just fun, dude. Like, I'll definitely join in on you.
And like I said, you don't have to feel like obligated to put in the full 60, but it is different when you have a whole stack. Like, that's what one guy told me. If you go in on a live poker table and you go in just for $20 or $40, you're probably not going to win. But if you sit down and you put 300-400 right there in front of you, and you're able to bluff out a little bit more, play a little more, you know, right? Like it'll work out a lot better.
Yeah.
Because there were times Tommy, he's real good up in the heights. He told us that because he just went and he had an insane amount. He had like $2,500, and he was just putting in $300-400, just bluffing us out. Because that was like, I started with 100 and I was up to like 500 now. He was betting big, and I had good hands, and I was folding, and he was showing us he was just bluffing on a couple of them. A couple of them would have beat him, but the fact that he was just so much pressure and so aggressive, it's intimidating, man.
Right.
And so when you're talking like poker, and like you said, you don't know what to do, blinds, positions, stuff like that. I mean, if you get the gist of like pairs and what's good in your hand, you don't really need to study theory, but it helps. Like the position you're in, the check raise, this guy's tells, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
That's
like,
where it gets more intricate.
Exactly. And he's like, okay, well, he checked back to me, bet big pre-flop, probably has a face card, and there's no face cards out there. It's like maybe he was chasing for a set, got a pocket pair in his hand or something like that. And so that's where you really got to evaluate the situation.
Yeah.
Especially.
Well, and you got to kind of read the table a little bit, too. Do you just play with one deck?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know some places play with multiple deck.
Yeah, well, no, we play with one deck, but the one deck can rotate out for a new deck. You can ask for a deck change.
Sure.
So, and it's all, like I said, it's all about, if you're on the button, like, button's a good spot to be in, because you're the last person to act, and so if you have a good hand, everyone else can do the action, because they don't know what you're going to do, so when it comes down to you, you can bet big, like $100, then you can just watch them all drop like flies, because most of the time, when you go to the flop, you want to try to be as low-handed as possible.
Sure.
That way you reduce the risk of bad hands catching what they need.
Mm-hmm.
And so most of the time, if you go to the flop, most of the time it's already heads up where there's 3 players. That's how you want it. A lot of people say, oh, I don't want to bet big because I don't want everyone to fold their hands because I want to take everyone's money. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't take everyone's money at once. You're probably just going to take one guy's money. That's how that works. It's not you and everyone. It's you and another guy.
Right.
That's how that works. And it also depends, too. If you're playing 9-handed and you have ace king in your hand, the odds of you seeing an ace king out there are a little higher. But if you're playing heads up, if you have a pocket pair and heads up, fuck, you're probably going to win.
Yeah.
That's just because it's so much harder to see the cards. You got to think about that, too. If there's 9 players, each one gets 2 cards. That's 18 cards out of the deck, out of a 52-card deck. And so that's, what, 34?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's 34 cards left in the deck, and then you burn one and flip 3 more, and so that's 4 more, and so there's 30 cards left in the deck, and then you got to see the 3. It's like, so your odds of seeing what you need to see are a little higher than heads up, because when you go to heads up, there's only 4 cards are out of the deck, so there's 48 cards compared to the 32 or the 34 I just said, and so
You got to play the odds.
Yeah, you got to play you got to think if you have a pair, heads up. It's probably good.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, your odds of winning are probably good because that guy probably doesn't have a pair either. I'm like, or if you have like a straight heads up or a fucking 3 of a kind or a set, you're probably fucking winning.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I'm like, those are so hard to get heads up.
Well, when you have more people at the table, like pairs and 3 of a kind, that usually ends up being a good hand. It's so hard to get like a straight or
it is
something like really good.
It is really good. It's really hard heads up, and when there's 9, like so when the deck's spread out more, it's easier. You can tell which seats are hot too. Like if seat 5's on fire, seat 3, because position matters too. That's why I always ask for a seat change. So if a couple of guys lose, it's like, oh, I want to take that seat, change the cards I'm getting. And so I feel like that makes a difference.
Oh, absolutely.
So
I've seen it in blackjack too.
Yeah, you should come play sometime, man. It's a whole lot of fun, and we'll help you through it. Like we do the same thing: blinds, button moves, everything like that. Under the gun, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, straddling.
Yeah, just let me know when you.
Every Friday night at 7, or every other Friday night at 7.
Okay. Well,
I mean, you're still in the group, aren't you?
I don't think so.
The group chat? No, I think I maybe took you out of there.
I think I left it because it was just a lot of stuff, people talking. I was like, I can't get these notifications anymore.
Yeah, well, you can silence them.
Oh,
you can stay in the group and silence them or something like that. Okay. You can set it up to where you only get a notification if someone directly tags you.
Gotcha. Okay, so, yeah, just let me know, man. Now we're getting a little close to the end here, but I do, since we're speaking about cards, I do want to talk about, because we talked about this last time. Very interesting, a world I'm not very familiar with. You're really into Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
So tell us about that. Like you said, it's a very lucrative industry right now.
Yeah, well, it is, and I would say it was, because PayPal or Joe Biden's new tax law or something like that says any money that you make through goods and services through PayPal, if you make over $600, it has to be reported to the IRS, and so that kind of puts a damper on things because most of that income I was getting. Was lucrative, and you didn't have to report it because it wasn't at a certain amount.
Sure. And
so, but now I have to report it, and so it's like I'm kind of skeptical to sell because it's like, how bad are the taxes going to be?
Right.
And so it's like, I don't want to, if I sell $1,000 and you tax me $400, it's like, what was the fucking point?
Right.
And it's like, it's shitty, but if you send it through friends and services, there's GNS and FNF, or friends and family. And so if you send it through friends and family, like let's say we were roommates, I was like, hey, I need rent money, and you sent it to me through PayPal, you better do it through FNF, because if you send it through GNS, then I'm going to get taxed on the money that shouldn't even be fucking taxed. And so it's hard convincing people to use friends and family, because GNS, you're covered. There's insurance on it.
Sure.
Because if you don't get your product, or we don't get the money or something like that, PayPal, your money's protected.
Gotcha.
So I'm fortunate enough that I've sold enough to where I have a pretty good amount of people who know me. And I can be like, hey, here's this. It's like, I'm at like $5.90 on my PayPal now already in the beginning of the year. So it's like I need to convince people to use friends and family so I can avoid that. So, I mean, this might be incriminating, actually.
You want me to cut it out?
No, it'll be fine. I don't care. I haven't sold anything yet. So
there you go.
Yeah, so that's how it goes. That's why I haven't done it. But yeah, I made quite a bit of money on it. Like I bought a truck, bought a camper, made a big payment on my credit card and everything like that. Reinvest it just like a stock market, goes up and down. I actually brought some today.
Oh yeah. So explain what makes cards more valuable.
Let me see if I have a good example in here. This is perfect, actually. Okay, and then we have this one. Need to grab a couple more examples here. Right there. There. And there. Alright. So what makes a card more valuable is a good example here. This card's a rare. You see how it's just shiny in the name?
Yeah.
So a rare and common. So a common would have nothing on it. That name wouldn't be shiny or anything.
Sure.
It would just be blank. So a rare is above a common. So rares and commons are easier to come by. Also, super rares are easy to come by. This is the same card, but different rarity.
Yeah, the pictures.
Yeah, the picture's foiled, the stars are foiled, and the attributes foiled.
Okay.
So this super rare, because this card's hard to come by because it has low printings. I think the rare is like $2 or $3, but the super rare is like $7. You know, so it's the same card. It's like, but the super rare is worth more. And if you're a guy like me, it's always you always want the highest rarity of stuff. And so it's like, well, the super is the highest rarity, so why would I get the rare? And some people are like, well, I just care what the function of the card does. Like, I want the rare; it's cheaper money. It's like it's a you got to be part of the community in order to really understand that aspect of it.
Sure.
So these cards right here are worth quite a bit. This card right here is an ultimate rare.
Okay.
Now, if you take it and look at it, you'll see a big difference between this and this. You see how the outlining of the card's foiled, the picture's a little more. And
yeah.
And if you actually touch it, it's textured. You can touch it.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
So that card right there is, I think, $35.
That's way cool. I've never seen that before.
So that's a big difference. So now that's $35. And this is the exact same card. But this one's a Starlight Astral rare. So what the Astral means, if you ever watched Yu-Gi-Oh, there was... Oh, fuck, I can't remember which season it was. Anyway, there's an Astral thing. This is Astral language from the show.
Okay.
So that you can actually decipher the card if you had a chart showing what the Astral language is. And it's a Starlight rare, so if you look at it...
Oh, you got that puppy fully protected.
Oh, yeah. Now, if you look at it, you can see this foiling's everywhere, and it's real shiny and glittery.
Yeah.
See, now that's $500.
Damn.
So now, this is the exact same card, but this is an ultimate rare.
Uh-huh.
This one's $35. That one's $500 because that one's way harder and way rarer to find.
Damn.
I've already had like 5 of these. I've only had one of those.
Oh, yeah.
And I pulled this. I pulled this from a pack.
Well, and I know, like, Pokemon cards is really big, Magic cards, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's all exploding, man.
This is just the world you're in, though.
Yeah, it's just the world I'm in. And then here's another one. This is just a regular. It's the same Starlight rare, but it's just in English.
Oh, I got you.
And that one's like 200 to 300, somewhere around there. That card fluctuates quite a bit.
So that's the Starlight. I remember you telling me about the Starlight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then this last one. So the highest rarities of cards you can have are Starlights, this ultimate rare I showed you, and this last one. Take this out of this sleeve because this sleeve I have it in is kind of shitty. This is a ghost rare.
Okay, I remember you telling me. Oh, and it's a winged dragon too.
Yeah, winged dragon, and it's 3D. If you kind of move it around, you can kind of see the picture pops out at you a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's a.
I remember you telling me about this too, and that's very interesting.
Yeah, and that's like $200 to $250, I think.
Okay.
And so, but it's like it's always like, what makes this card worth more than this one and stuff like that. It's like, oops. Honestly, those would be hard questions to answer because even though I'm in this, it's like how come this Starlight rare is worth more than this Starlight rare? And it's weird because you'd play this card more often than this one.
Uh-huh.
It's just the fact it's in the Astral language.
Gotcha.
Super hard to pull. Like, they're both hard to pull, but this Astral language one I think people just like more because this is in all the animes, the characters have ace monsters, like their go-to one they use to win games. He was the go-to one in not GX. Oh, God, I don't know. Because I believe it went GX, 5Ds was Synchro. Zexal, I think, was the Exceeds one. And this was his ace monster.
Okay.
This is what he used to win games. And so that's probably another factor because there's a lot of weebs out there that like the animes and they're like, oh my God.
Yeah, right.
So, but, yeah, so that's another reason. And, like, it's like, oh, this is a ghost rare. This is a really high rarity. Like, how come this isn't just as much as this one? It's like, well,
I'm sure the function of it.
yeah, it's like it's just not a very good card.
Well, isn't Winged Dragon? Aren't those banned?
No, they're not.
God cards aren't banned.
No, people just think it's just another anime thing.
I got you.
They're like, oh, they're so good in the anime, they got to be good in real life. It's
They're
like
not.
they're not.
I got you.
They even printed out new cards for it, and it's still really not that good. It's okay. I mean, there's some cards, if you can get them off, that are nutty.
Yeah.
It's like, but they're so hard to functionally get off that it's like not even worth it.
Right. See, well, after talking to you last time, I still have a bunch of old ones.
Oh, really?
And I went back and looked through them, and I'm sure I missed a few of them, but I did pull out a couple.
Oh, you did?
Now, none of these are what you have, but
you'll be surprised.
I figured I pulled out a lot of first editions and stuff like that, and just any of them that had shiny on them and stuff, just to kind of, I don't know the functions or anything like that. So, and I actually did appraise them, and none of them were worth much. That last one though did have some kind of weird sparkle in it.
Yeah, this is a regular secret rare.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a secret rare. That's an ultra. This Swift Gaia might be worth a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's in decent shape. I think it might be worth like $15.
Huh?
Something like that. Well, there's an app.
I looked.
TCG player.
Uh huh.
Well, let's take a peek again. Just double checking because I know the ultra rare of this is like $80.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And which one? That's just a rare, or?
Yeah, this is a secret rare.
Oh, that one is.
Yeah. So Swift Gaia.
And I might have more that have little value. I just kind of went through them quickly. I was looking for the first editions and anything that had foil. Because I kind of remembered you telling me which ones,
speed duel ones.
like the hierarchy of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that last one, like I said, it had a weird thing on it, but it also was kind of just a not very good card.
Mm-hmm. Swift Gaia. God, I keep fucking up. There we go. Let's see, common, secret rare. Yeah, see, the ultra rare out of the retro pack is worth quite a bit. Let's see. Common. Okay, so this is the only secret printing right here. Now, you also got to go off condition.
Sure.
I would probably give yours LP to near mint. So, like, a damage is 83 cents and a moderately is 95.
Uh-huh.
So you kind of want to keep scrolling until you see, like, the right condition that yours is in.
Sure.
I'll see, we're already on page 3. You might get something good here. It's about $3.
Yeah.
See, so that's nothing too bad.
Right. I mean, it's more than just what it was.
But now here's the thing. Let's say, some decks, because Gaia did get some new support.
Uh-huh.
Let's say it gets another wave of support in the next set, and it just completely breaks, like, the deck. Like, oh, it's so fucking good now. That card be worth $50.
Goes up.
That's the thing. That's why people buy bulk collections of foils and stuff like that.
Sure.
Because you don't know what's going to come out, and it's like, oh shit, this came out. This card's worth this much now. It's like, shit, I have a bunch of bulk foils sitting in over there. Like, I better go look at it.
Yeah.
So I'd just hold on to them.
It's so interesting it's kind of like how the crypto is now, you know? It's like, it's like you said, stock market style. Like, the value of it just kind of ebbs and flows, and
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah, so it's not bad. Not bad at all.
Interesting world.
But I'm ready to call. I got to use the bathroom.
No
man.
worries, man. We're right at the end anyway. Before you leave, though, like we did last time, but nobody got to hear it, we'd like to end the episode with a positive or motivational message from the guest. Anything you'd like to say?
Just do you, man. Just stay in your lane. Do what you got to do. If it's not your business, stay out of it. And try not to care too much. You know, like I said, it's good to care, but sometimes if you care too much, then it kind of just ruins the rest of your life. So I would just say, keep doing you. Don't care what anybody else thinks.
Right on, man. I like it, and I kept checking it throughout, and it looked like we're good.
Okay, good deal.
So hopefully this one makes the waves. But appreciate you coming back.
Anytime, man.
Thank you very much, and we'll have you back on again too.
Okay, yeah,
So,
sounds good to me.
thank you all for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, but most importantly, don't forget, life's a garden. Dig it.